If you guys remember in the last video, we spoke about the Royal Enfield Hunter 350. What a brilliant package it is for the price it comes at. But look at the current market. In every segment, you have competition from a different manufacturer. So in the sub 350 segment, in the cruiser segment or the scrambler segment, you have the Honda CB350 Highness and the CB350RS. The RS stands for road sailing. Can this actually sail? Well, this is Bikenbiker and this is our first ride experience of the CB350RS. Let's get riding. So Honda's main aim was to always make comfortable and most importantly, reliable motorcycles. And that's exactly the case with the CB350RS and the Highness. You look at the scooters, starting from the Activas and all the way to the premium segment, which is your Africa Twin and the Gold Wings. They scream quality and they give you a very, very comfortable ride. Now, when you look at the CB350RS in terms of the comfort department, you're looking at city riding, you're looking at touring. This excels in both the departments really, really well because the seats are nice and wide. They give you a good feel when you're seated for a good 200 kilometer stretch because you're looking at a tank range of about 400 kilometers. And you can easily do that with those seats. The handlebar position, the foot pegs, they're all placed just perfectly. Now, from a rider's perspective, I think what Honda has actually pulled off here is the quality of the parts. I mean, we'll get to the engine bit a little later in the video, but you really have to take some time off and appreciate the attention to detail of every nut and bolt and every part on this motorcycle. For example, look at the indicators. They share a similar design to the Africa Twins or even the CBR 1000 RRR. That's how neat and well finished this motorcycle is. So while you're riding the motorcycle, there's not much to look at. You do have a lot of space to move between the motorcycle. But I mean, what you would really appreciate is the kind of view you get in front of you. While the cockpit is very minimalistic, you would also like to see how well the tank is finished, the paint scheme and also the tachometer looks just beautiful and screams quality. Even the suspension setup, although it is not adjustable, it is perfectly tuned unlike the Hunter 350. It's not too stiff, it's not too soft, it's just on dot. Say you're riding on bad roads, you're riding in places like this, you could even possibly take it to small trails and have fun because it's so forgiving that you really don't feel any bumps. Even you're riding two up, pillion comfort is absolutely great, when you compare it to the Hunter 350. Because I'll tell you something, when we were riding the Hunter 350, if you noticed in the last video, the last bit of trails that we did, it really did show my shoulders and my hands, man. It was not a very pleasant experience, especially if you're looking at a city commute bike or a touring bike, in this 300cc category. And I think in this department, I think the CB350RS really, really nails it. Coming in at 179 kilos, I think the CB350RS handles a lot better than the Hunter 350 because you're looking at a 100 section tire up front and a 150 section at the rear, and it does it really easily. If you look at the videos here, we are able to play around the corners and throw around the bike really well. And if you're also looking at the wheelbase, it's a lot shorter than the Hunter 350, while you can also take those, quick U-turns and maneuver in the traffic really, really easily. So the CB350RS packs in a lot of comfort, good flowing design, looks fantastic in terms of finishing. But when it comes to the overall engine performance, I think this is where it's taken a slight backseat when you compare it to the Hunter 350, because this one misses out a little bit of the mid-range torque, and that is where you would want to be riding this motorcycle, out on the highway or maybe even in the city, where the Hunter 350 does a slightly better job. But don't forget, the Honda 350RS is a much more reliable and a much more quiet engine. Now, why do I say that the Hunter 350 is slightly better than the CB350RS in terms of outright performance? Is only because of the way the gearbox is actually designed. So look at it this way. You're looking at a very open gearbox. The gearing is really, really tall, which means you're looking at, say you're doing about 100, 120, which is pretty much the top what the bike can do, and you're still comfortable cruising in the fourth gear. But remember, you also have a fifth gear on this motorcycle that becomes pretty much useless, because the minute you move into the fifth gear and you tend to drop in a little bit speed, there's no way you can, overtake anything on the highway. Like for example, we were riding down this highway and I was in the fifth gear and I had to just drop the speed by about 5 to 10 kmph. The motorcycle was just not able to pull it off, because you really have to shift down to maybe a second or a third, get that low end torque to come into picture, and then you can shoot up to maybe 90 or 100. Again, that is possible in the fourth. The minute you get into fifth, the bike becomes a little too lazy and not too exciting to ride. Only reason is also, again, you're looking at the entire torque being delivered inside 3000 rpm, because anything after that, the motorcycle feels pretty much like a electric vehicle. It's silent, it's smooth, it's got a little bit of character, but again, not the most engaging ride you would have on the highway. But yeah, man, it does a decent job on the highway as well, because you've got a nice big massive 15-liter fuel tank. You're looking at a mileage of between 35 to 38, a fuel tank range of over 400 kilometers. So I think in all of these departments, it outruns the Hunter 350. So for under 2,50,000, I think the CB350RS makes for quite a good motorcycle. Yes, it can be a little more expensive than its competitors, but again, we feel that Honda could have sold a lot more of these motorcycles if they were accessible to the Indian crowd really easily, because these motorcycles, the Highness and the RS, is only available in the Honda Big Wing showrooms throughout India. So you would need to reach out to your nearest Big Wing dealer to pick up one of these, because these are not available in the normal Honda outlets. Now, getting into the most important part of owning a motorcycle is again coming to the service and availability of parts. Now, since this motorcycle is manufactured here, service is also really cheap. You're looking at under 2,000 bucks for a normal service. That also depends on the way you maintain the motorcycle and the consumables that you may want to change on a timely basis. Looking at your chain sprockets, your brake pads, that can add up to the cost, but a basic general checkup would cost you about 2,000 bucks at the authorized Honda service center. I had a fantastic time riding this motorcycle around in the city, in the highway, in the country roads here, and few trails around what you see. And it's been a delightful and smooth experience. So you're in the market with a budget of about 2.4 to 2.6. Look no further. Just get yourself a Honda CB350 Highness or the RS. Period. It's one of the best motorcycles in this segment. This is available in Bangalore. You'd want to reach out to the Honda Big Wing top line showroom based out in Lavelle Road, and they would be more than happy to help you out with the test ride and also the sales and service and stuff like that. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Do let us know if we missed out anything. What are the other bikes you want to see in the future? And we'll be more than happy to shoot it out for you. And my name is AJ. I'll see you guys in the next video. Did I also forget to mention that this has a much more smoother thump? That's how smooth a thumb should be. I'll see you guys.